Hello again, welcome back. Mick Coxidge talking all things books and paperbacks. And today I'm going to be talking about my favourite set of books that I'm very lucky to have the whole set. And it took me a few years to get it all together, but I got there in the end. Completed about around 9 years ago. And it's my favourite because they are literally the books that I've read of this series. They're really in the crime, thrillers and noir, and they really are quite dark and for their time, which is 1952. So they are very sought after books, especially in great condition. Only 24 in the set, and they started at number 21 for some reason. I don't really know why, and finished at 44. So, interesting set of books, some great authors, very sought after novels. People like Evan Hunter are amongst them, Joe Weiss. They're all in this particular set with the best artwork you'll ever see. It's a mission to buy the whole set, and I'm very lucky to have them. Now, most book collectors will say, oh, they've got to be in mint condition, otherwise I'm not interested. And I understand that, and some people are like that, and all power to them. I am a completist, and if I can find that copy in pretty good shape, doesn't have to be mint or near mint or unread. I've got unread copies, and I've got mint copies, and I'm very happy to have them. But in this set, you'll go from some ones that look like they've seen better days, but they're intact and they're historical and they're kept. And all I'm doing is looking after them until the next person takes over with them, because I'm not going to be here forever. So the next person that owns this set of Falcon books, I hope, will cherish them just like I do. Anyway, who knows? Yeah, Falcon books, digest size paperbacks. Really good titles, really good artwork, and highly collectible. So I'm going to go through my set today. I know it's been done before on another video. I think Gary Levisi done one on Falcon as well. But I thought I'd do the same. And why not? Why not? It's great. Anyway, great artwork. Let's go into Falcon books and enjoy the set. Here we go. Hello, everybody. So here we go. My set or collection of Falcon books from 1952, just into the early part of 1953. And what a fantastic set of books they are. I try not to warble on too much. I get very excited when I talk about this particular set. And I'll do my best to just stop waffling. Anyway, I'll stop waffling. Here we go. Number 1, Season for Sin by Anthony Scott, who was in fact David's dresser. I have. It started off very tamely, this series, and you'll see here. This is a great piece of artwork. I'm not sure who it's by. It could be Harold Dodd, could be George Gross. I'm not sure. It's not signed. Apparently, at the bottom, she was fun for the boys. A lot of these digest novels, the artwork on the cover doesn't quite match the novel inside. So Season for Sin, number 21, is the first in the series. I've read this and I struggled. It's a romance novel with a little bit of not even naughty really. And by today's standards, I mean this would just be laughable really. Season for Sin. Like I say, it's not the greatest of novels by David Dresser. He went on to obviously write some extremely good books in his time, mostly westerns, but he's a good author. But unfortunately, this one here did not resonate with me, but a great looking book. And in the bag here, but you can see here the bathing suit beauty on the back, typical colophon at the bottom with Falcon. And inside these books, you'd also get some photographs. So I'll go on to that in the next one. Which are all staged by professional models, apparently. Then these books were seen as quite naughty for their time. Trust me, this first one here, number 21, even though it's highly collectible, it's a very tame novel. Okay, this one's not in a bag, so I wanted to just be honest about the condition of some of my books. It's got pen on the front. It's got a whacking great big reader crease down the centre. If I found another copy for decent money in better shape, I'd buy it, but I've got it. It's part of my journey buying these books for all these years. I mean, I'm probably going back 20 years when I started collecting these Falcons. Mark Reed, he done a number of books in this series. Mark Reed is actually a pseudonym by Norman A. Daniels. And again, it's romancy, a bit of a sleazy romance. She needed love, but not from her husband. So, yeah, bless her. And this again has got the colophon down the bottom of the Falcon book, and a really, really nice bit of artwork. You can see here that crease does really detract from the actual book itself, but it is what it is, and I'm very happy to own it. And it's a great piece of artwork. The Scarlet Bride. So if I just open this up quickly, you'll see that yeah, it's all intact, and we're going to come across hopefully one of these photos. There you go. There's your want to come upstairs with me, Jeff. Well, not really, Jeff, but if you insist. But anyway, that's what you get in most of these early books, and that's the Scarlet Bride, number 22. There you go. Mabel and Men by George Batari, which is as far as I know, is an actual author's name. It's not a pseudonym of anybody that I'm aware of. Artwork, I believe, by Hal Dodd, judging by the gentleman's face. And again, Falcon book down the bottom, and wonderful artwork, proper good girl art, adjusting her stocking tops, smoking a cigarette, and yeah, a great looking book. Mabel and Men, that's number 23 in the series. And as we go through the Falcon series, you'll notice that it gets more hard-boiled. Gangsters Mold. We've seen this on the Malinka editions, but this is the original digest edition by Hodge Evans. It was actually that's a pseudonym for Dean Owens, and you can see on my copy here it's got some little flakes at the top. 3 for Passion number 24. Artwork again by Hal Dodd, which is worth the admittance fee on its own, because that is pretty good stuff. I mean, that sort of artwork is you're not going to get much better than that, to be honest. And that is Hodge Evans was also the author of Her Candle Burns Hot. Whoo-wee. Anyway, she's enticing that gangster upstairs, and the other chaps at the back playing cards. Great piece of artwork. Excellent. And then again, Hamlin Daly. Now, Hamlin Daly was actually an author called E. Hoffman Price, and he was quite prolific in weird tales in the 30s and 40s. And this is one of his novels using a pseudonym, Hamlin Daly. And again, no, the artwork's not been signed on this particular copy, which is number 25 in the set. The Case of the Cancelled Redhead. And she certainly is a redhead. And it's certainly drawn by Hal Dodd. And there's the gentleman down there, probably messing around with 2 sets of books. And at the bottom it says Death, Dame's Death and a Spanish Duchess. Yeah. That's why I buy books, just for this, because it's just great. On this is the first. There's 4 copies in this particular set. They're actually called Falcon Mysteries, not just Falcon books. There's 4 in the set, and this is called a Falcon Mystery. Even though the numbers run together, it's actually called a Falcon Mystery. Just an excuse to zoom in on her legs, really. But anyway, yeah, wonderful book. And we're still sticking with this crime, hard-boiled gangsters theme here with Lay Down and Die. Mark Reed, again, Norman A. Daniels, that's his pseudonym he used, and again, an original book. Again, with artwork you can only describe as archetypal 1950s sleaze. Gangsters, moles, you get the whole lot here. And a very attractive blonde lady smoking a cigarette. Now, smoking's bad, everybody, but back in the 50s it was cool. And she looks pretty cool. And again, that's a Falcon mystery. I don't know why they went Falcon Books to Falcon Mystery and then and dipped it in and out of that. I'm not sure, but yeah. Now this copy of Lyda Lynn is not the best. It's got some. Someone's been playing darts into it, but I've never seen another copy that I could afford really. And I got this many years ago when literally for literally, I think probably no more than about, I don't know, 8 or 10 quid on eBay, probably getting on for 18 years ago. So I got it. I knew what I was buying. Norman Dan, which is Norman A. Daniels, a pseudonym. And that is absolute quality artwork. Redhead, gentleman coming through the door. Honey, I'm home. And I don't suppose she's one bit interested. Because apparently no man could ever forget Lyda Lynn, daughter of passion. Good grief. Anyway, that's I do need to upgrade that copy if I can, but I'm quite happy with what I've got. It's part of my journey in collecting, and I'm happy with that. Now, this is the first toughie. Anyone will tell you in book collecting circles that if you own a copy of Girls Out of Hell, you've done all right. By Joe Weiss, and the art is by George Gross. And, well, again, it's hard-boiled crime thrillers. And again, we've gone back to Falcon Book. This is a really tough copy to find. This is what collecting digest books from America, this is your top copies. This is one of the in your top 10 probably of digest books from the 50s. Girls Out of Hell. There's not much you can add to that, just apart from just look at the artwork and look at the ladies in question, and you realise that when these gentlemen picked up these particular books from the train station, from the newsagent kiosk, or wherever they were going, they knew that when they got home, their wife or partner would not be happy to see that in their briefcase. So back in the 50s, these were seen as very risky and not the sort of thing that a gentleman would take home to the wife. I've read the book, and it is a great piece of thriller and really well written, and I enjoyed it, and it was a good read. You can't dwell on the cover too much, but the cover matches the novel, if that makes sense. You get exactly what you get on the cover inside as well, and a fantastic novel. Yes. Let's move that one out of the way. And you can see already the next one in my list here, which is going back to a Falcon mystery, which is number 29. Mistress on a Deathbed. This was quite a tough one to find for me. Probably got it about 10, 12 years, probably about 12 years ago, really. Art again by George Gross, which I think is signed somewhere. I can't see it on my particular copy, but yeah, it's been credited with George Gross, and it is great. There's the mistress, not on her deathbed. She's sitting on a chair, bless her. Again, it's a Falcon mystery. Oh, there's George Gross. He's up there. It is, just underneath the Falcon book. That's why I couldn't see him. Getting old. There she is, smoking a cigarette, looking all cool. And there's her distraught husband or boyfriend having a smoke and a beer. And in comes the heavy. Anyway, Norman A. Daniels wrote this book. under his own particular name, no pseudonym needed. He was obviously very happy with this, and that is wonderful artwork. Tough book to find, really tough. Back cover here again, Falcon mystery, and some photos on the back. Murder chase in reverse. This next book was the last one that I needed to collect. Like I say, I think about 9 years ago I picked this up, finally. Dagger of Flesh, an original novel by Richard S. Prather. Apparently he wasn't very happy. This is his first ever novel, and he wasn't happy with the lady on the front. He felt it was too seductive and a bit too risky, and he wasn't happy, Mr. Prather. But that's what makes it collectible. Sorry to tell you that, Richard, but that's why people want this. This is a really hard book to find, a real tough one. And honestly, that artwork by Rudy Nappy, and this is by Rudy Nappy, and you can tell that the guys in the background aren't really as important to him. He wants to make that, the lady in the foreground, everything that draws you in. So when those gents went to that kiosk to buy their book for their train journey in America back in 1952, their eyes were drawn about all the magazines and books on that stand. That's the one that stood out, and that was the whole point of it. Even if the novel inside wasn't great, it was the artwork that drew you in. And again, it is a Falcon mystery. Blonde girl smoking a cigarette in a very, very figure-hugging dress with gloves. Dagger of Flesh, an original novel by Richard S. Prather. That was not a cheap book to buy, but I needed it to complete the whole set, and I took the plunge. Worth every cent. Anyway, on to Tom Rohn, Slave Girl. Again, it's a standalone novel. Tom Rohn, I believe, was not a pseudonym for anybody. It could be, but I'm unaware of it. Back to Falcon Books, so no mystery in sight now. And it's by Tom Rohn, Slave Girl. So again, you're capturing all sorts of moods in these Falcon Digests. You've got your thrillers, you've got your noir, you've got your crime. You then go to more like your sleazy hillbilly girl being seduced by the gentleman drinking some water out of a barrel. Very romantic. Anyway, she looks pretty good with a bit of hay in her mouth, and very seductive she is too. It's number 31 in the series. Again, not the greatest of copies. Got a bit of a crease. Fully intact. At the bottom it says, stark realism in the swamplands of the Deep South. Again, worth every cent. Fantastic. On the back, again, the Falcon book colophon and Slave Girl at the bottom there with a nice photo, as well as all the photos inside as well. Always posed by professional models, don't forget. A strange cover, this. Sins of the Flesh. George Gross artwork. It's a strange one. I would like to have seen that particular view brought up to the foreground. It's a very strange looking book. I haven't read this. Sins of the Flesh by Mark Reed, which is Norman A. Daniels. But it's a nice bit of artwork. There's George Gross's little signature at the bottom left. Number 32 in the series. It's nice art, but it doesn't draw you in. It doesn't make you want to buy it. If you saw it on a newsstand, you'd probably miss that, because the girl and the guy need to be a little bit bigger, a bit more on the actual size of the book. But they were probably trying to be arty. Didn't particularly work. You can pick this one up for quite good money, for pretty much no money. It got a bit of a damp stain on the back there, water damage, and there's a sultry looking girl photograph on the back. Star-crossed lovers. Tops in thrilling suspense fiction. They certainly were. Okay. I think we're probably halfway through now. Number 33, Yellowhead. Again, Hodge Evans, which is Dean Owens, that's the pseudonym he used. And again, it's very difficult to work out who the artist might be. It could be George Gross, it could be Hal Dodd. I'd probably go with Hal Dodd. Yellowhead. Even though she's a redhead, it's called Yellowhead. Don't ask me why. I don't think I've read this one. In fact, I'm pretty sure I haven't. I need to go on my to-do list. Who Thrilled You with Her? He also wrote Her Candle Burns Hot and Three for Passion. Good old Hodge Evans. What a great looking book. In really good condition. Like I say, it doesn't really bother me too much, but when I saw this one come up, I think this is on 8 Books. I was on it like a car bonnet, as they say. And then you go from a really fine looking book to Shack Girl. They're going into this hillbilly series of backwards in the south of America. My copy's not great. It's got some reader creases, but what a great looking book. People love collecting this hillbilly stuff, Shack Girls and all that sort of thing. It just seems to. It must have sold really well at the time, from people in New York and Chicago wanting to know about these girls from the deep south. Norma Dan, but this one obviously is Norman A. Daniels, using the pseudonym Norma Dan, and there's a nice rustic hut there with the gentleman with his probably very lovely wife, and there she is, Shack Girl. She's going to ruin it all. Yes, I can guarantee it. Again, Primitive Passions in the Backwoods of the South, and again it's a Falcon book. Great stuff. Makes me want to read them all again. Now, Raise the Devil. I've read this book. It's my favourite book that I've read out of the whole series. I've never been so captured by a book ever. This is David Wade. Again, it's a Norman A. Daniels. I'm not sure who the artist is. It could be Hal Dodd. It probably is. I put money on it. This book I read, and it's dark. There's all sorts of stuff going on. There's bondage, there's crime, there's gangsters, there's money laundering. It's all going on, and I'm not making any of that up. It's absolutely riveting, and I love the book. And I would recommend you to read this whenever you can. And if you don't want to read it, just look at the cover, because it's worth looking at. Anyway, that's number 35 in the Falcon book set, and a very nice one it is too. Not a bad little copy. It's got a little nick at the top there, you can just see. But apart from that, the spine's in really good shape, and the back cover with a lady bending over backwards, which apparently is the handwork of the devil. Yeah, that is a really, really great crime, dark noir thriller. I loved it. I'd read it again. And then on to what you would consider to be the most collectible book in the whole series. There's another one coming up soon which equals that, in my opinion. This is Junkie, by Jonathan Craig, and artwork by Keita Seach. My copy's got this little stamp at the top, but apart from that, it's in pretty good condition. Pretty good. Very sought after book. Very hard to find. If you wanted to buy a copy in that condition, I've seen them go for $400-500. I've even seen them go higher than that. It's number 36 in the series. A brand new novel, not a reprint, and that is correct. It's got nothing to do with the Ace edition of Junkie. This one is The Life and Loves of a Drug Addict. So a lot of people collect drug books. Drugs are bad, kids. Don't do it. But the drug books, if you're going to get hooked on anything, get hooked on trying to collect these. This is in the top 10 of digest books that you can find, with the most superb artwork by Keita Seach. And there's a fella. That tape there's on the actual, it's not actually on the book, it's on the actual cover. And there's the fella just about to smash him over the head with a bottle, I do believe. Yeah, so proud to own that, and I'm very lucky. I do believe my wife bought that for me for Christmas many, many moons ago. And that's the back cover. Not in great shape, the back. The front's a lot better than the back, as they say. Okay, not many to go now. I'm going to whiz through because I'm warbling on as usual. Woman Hunter. Laura Hale. Again, this is one thing you should never do is smoke a cigarette in a hayloft, but she's doing it. Laura Hale was Frederick Lorenz was the writer, and that was the pseudonym that he used. Frederick Lorenz, great piece of art. Number 37. Again, artwork. It's I'm going to go with Hal Dodd because I like saying that name, but I think it's Hal Dodd. I could be wrong. There you go. Dames were his weakness, torturing him, tantalising him. Poor fella, working very hard, and she's going to burn the barn down. Sweet Savage by Norman A. Daniels. Great artwork. Blonde girl going out for a nice summer's day, and there's the gentleman turning up in his convertible car trying to impress her. Number 38 in the series, and again, not sure the artist is on this one. Not sure at all, but wonderful. Falcon book. No man could love her and live. Of course, she sounds dangerous. But yeah, wonderful. Joy Street is a bit of a fun. This one's quite a common title. You can find it here and there. Not very expensive. You should be able to pick one up for sort of, I don't know, £20, $25, $30, that sort of thing. My copy's in pretty good nick. It's number 39. Joy Street by Chet Kinsey. Redhead sitting on the side of a bed. That's pretty... having a drink of whiskey while another fella's laying on the bed, and the doctor, he's not there to help him, love. We know that. Yeah, great stuff. But you can find this particular book out in the wilds. And Satan's Green-Eyed Helper. And there she is, a little professionally posed model, apparently. Really good condition book, this one now. This is Whip Hand. Hodge Evans again. Dean Owens was the writer. And then this copy's in absolutely wonderful condition. And yeah, I was so pleased to get this for the price I did. It didn't pay a lot. Very happy. This is number 40 in the series. Seething turmoil of passion, violence and hatred. With artwork that just blows your mind. Look at that. Excellent. Now, this is the other novel in the series that goes for big, big money. The Evil Sleep. Evan Hunter's first ever novel. He'd written a short story, I think, just before that, but this is his first novel that he had published, and it's called The Evil Sleep. And this is to do with drugs. Drugs are bad. This is to do with heroin addiction and all sorts of stuff. He bought forgetfulness, but a dead blonde woke him up. This book's got it all. Very collectible because it's Evan Hunter, and he went on to write some just superb author from this moment on, from the early 50s. But this is a drug book, and it goes for big money. My copy's not the best, but it's intact, and I own it, and that makes it very nice to have, because people collect drug books, they collect Evan Hunter, they collect Falcon. You've got like a triester of wonderfulness, and this is it. This goes for big money again, probably up in this condition. This is probably a £300-400 book. I'm very lucky. I got it years ago for an absolute steal. But don't tell anyone. It's number 41. I think I paid about £70. The wife knows now. Oh dear. But yeah, about 70 quid. Couldn't believe it. Anyway, getting towards the end now. The Long Night by Bryce Walton. Art by Hal Dodd. And again, so good. My copy is a little bit tatty. It's okay, but it's there. And I don't think I've read this one either. Need to do that. Number 42. Glorious. I'll move up from wonderful to glorious for that one. Wow. And then we've got just the two to go. House of 1,000 Desires. Again, Hal Dodd artwork, Falcon book. This is number 43. I know it's Hal Dodd because you can tell by the gentleman. If you can't, George Gross and Hal Dodd were very close with their ladies, the way they painted their ladies, but Hal Dodd always done the gents in that style. And what a book. And this is the penultimate one in the series, written by Mark Reed, Norman A. Daniels. And behind every door was a secret, lurid, evil and shocking. A house of 1,000 desires. And yeah, great stuff. And on to the very, very last one in my Falcon book series. I hope you've enjoyed it, the full collection, and inspired you to maybe try and hunt them down yourself. And good luck if you can get the set. More power to you. It'll cost you money, but in the end, it'll be worth it, because then you'll end up with this final book. So if you're a rockabilly or someone is into rockabilly and also sleazy pulp digest books, this one's also a double hitter. Again, Hal Dodd is your artist. You can tell by the fella's face. Blonde Girl, Honky Tonk Girl by Charles Beckman Jr. Again, quite a tough one to find. It's when you do find it, it's gonna cost you. This one is in pretty decent nick. Spine is great. You just got a little crease on the top right, but and there's a big stamp on the back. Girls of the Night, and there's your photo staged by professional models. And that's the last one of the series, Honky Tonk Girl. I hope you've enjoyed it. I've got to end up with the blurb at the bottom because it's the best one out of the whole lot. It was the last stop for the scum of humanity on the road to hell. Can't really top that really with anything I can say. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed my Falcon Book Digest collection. And I've got loads of digests from different companies: Quarter, Venus, Exotic, Ecstasy, Cameo, Carnival. Oh, you name it, I've got them all. And hopefully, when I do those series, you'll enjoy them as much as I do. I hope you've enjoyed the artwork and a little bit of an insight into this particular collection and how great it is. So go out and find some Falcon books and enjoy and read them because they're great. Anyway, I hope to see you soon. Ring that bell, subscribe, and whatever the kids tell you to do, I don't know. But anyway, do that, and yeah, check on back for more videos and more books for my little collection. See you all soon.